Hello, how are you? It's PhD lately here, and today I've got Usindi, who also comes from South Africa, and I felt like it is nice for the both of us to talk about experiences that we've had in the Netherlands since we come from the same country and we've had the same experiences. So yeah, it's not going to be formal, it's just going to be a general conversation around our experiences. I'd like to let your friend introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Cindy Sithole. I'm currently doing my PhD at the University of Twente. I am originally from South Africa, and before coming here, I was at the University of Johannesburg.
Now that Cindy has said she went to UJ, I actually went to UP, and one of the interesting things I'd like us to find out is how are the differences in terms of being supervised. I know that supervision on a master's level and on a PhD level are different, but what would you think that differences, and what are the differences that you have picked up, or the expectations you had of supervision and now it's actually different for you? And is it the same? Is it better? Which one would you prefer if you were to compare?
Oh, supervision. It's totally different. I don't know, because at home we never did a PhD, so we don't know. We cannot say it's the same because we don't know at a PhD level. But we know from a master's level here, you argue with your supervisor. You don't have to agree with them. You voice your points that, hey, this is my point. This is why I think I need to do it like this. And then
you argue with them?
Yeah, you have to. You argue. You
so
put your point forward and you...
Yes. Do you end up agreeing though?
Yeah, so you disagree to agree.
Okay.
So you then prove him right or prove him wrong.
Okay.
And he also admits that, okay, good. You know, I was wrong, you were right.
Yeah.
So it's not that superiority ranking. So it's normally like that. So you see a lot of, when you come with that rigid structure, and it's not that rigid, eh? It's not like, hey, rigid or whatever like that. No, it's flexible. You don't always have to listen to your supervisor. So your supervisor is always listening to you.
That's true. You do the talking more than they do.
Yeah.
So they listen and then they guide based on what you are sharing.
Yeah. Okay. And also you feel, I think the students here, they feel more confident.
Yeah, compared to home.
Compared to home, they're more confident to argue and they're like, I nearly wanted to say the big word, substantiate.
Yay! Okay.
Yeah. So to always support your thoughts.
Yes.
So it's always like that. You do it openly.
Yes.
And remember, here you have to defend.
Yes.
Your work.
Even at home, you defend as well.
I didn't defend for my master's.
I did.
Yeah. No. At UJ, you don't.
So then you're saying the students here, based on your own experience, are more confident as compared to the students at home. Would you comparing them what, in terms of master's level or in general?
But I think academically so, because they, even from remember, in the Netherlands is a negotiation country. Everything you negotiate. Yeah, life is about negotiating.
Okay.
So they grow up from that level, not that hierarchy of, hey, this is a professor, I know I cannot, So they can always support their ideas, and if this is not if it's against whatever they believe in, they will say, I don't feel like doing this.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised because I have not a very similar situation, because I think when your supervisors also are Dutch, one of your supervisors is Dutch, right?
One is Dutch and one is from Scotland.
From Scotland. Yeah. But also in your case, you also are surrounded by quite a lot of Dutch people in your faculty.
Yeah.
Because my department is basically more international orientated, because there's a lot of students from different countries, particularly from the Asian and the African part. But I think as you go up in terms of maybe postdoc and then you find more Dutch people, but they are trying to get a lot of European students to be on board. I'm not too sure how that is going. So the experience is a little bit different. Because of that, a lot of international students, when they come in with that less confidence and low self-esteem, because they're unsure that do they belong here, do they really,
but plus the cultural difference, our cultures play a role.
It's so different, right? It's so different. So I'm really surprised that you negotiate. I feel like I started the negotiation and the putting out my ideas in my third year. I didn't do it in my first, because I didn't know what was going on.
My experience was horrible. First of all, because I came here with a proposal. right?
Oh, I remember.
I had a proposal.
Hey, Cindy came prepared. Oh, but I think we all came.
We
with
all came
proposals.
prepared, ne?
Yes,
We
all
came with the proposal.
proposals. Yes, we all came
Yeah?
with proposals.
Fine.
Yes.
So you know what you're going to do. Roughly, you don't really
have
know,
an
but
idea.
you've got an idea.
Yes.
My supervisor, when I got here, forget what you know. And I took that because he's my supervisor, right?
True.
And this is what you do as a student,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Forget what you... And then now we're waiting for the new plan.
Okay.
I think for the whole plus COVID happened, but then besides that, now the meeting was more. I was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? Then you go to a meeting, and then he would give you that, okay, there's this way that leads you to heaven and this way that leads you to hell. And then now he says the way to heaven is very interesting, but I would also like to know what's interesting about this one. And you're like stuck, should I focus on hell or should I focus on heaven? Yeah. Which one is it? You know? Yeah. And then you go back, you're still confused and you don't know what was the meeting about. My friend.
I've been there. I've been there where you go share your thoughts and your results, and then your supervisor gives you all these ideas and then you're like, what was that?
Yeah.
You know? What was that? Yeah, so I've been there. And what do you think you've learned the most about being a PhD student in the Netherlands or in your department specifically?
What have I learned so far?
What has changed if you look back and you look at how you started your PhD and where you are now? What has changed about you that is actually making you a more better suited PhD candidate within your department?
Am I better suited?
I think so.
I don't think... Okay, I don't think so. I think...
You can't tell me that you have not grown. It does not necessarily have to be technical, but your experience of handling everything based on supervisor-student relationship, based on friends, based on relationship, based on life in the Netherlands, all the challenges you've had and balancing that with your family at home. I'm sure there's something you've learned.
I think one thing that I've learned being there, which now I'm starting to learn also to just is what is in it for me. What is in it for me?
Being here.
Whatever initiative you do, even in your PhD, even in your everyday life.
Yeah.
If we're gonna sit like this together, it's a question of what is in it for me.
Okay.
Because you remember our supervisors, they always recommend us to speak to external people.
Okay.
So they always recommend people. So you go to your meeting, they're like, oh, have you spoken to Mbali? She's actually doing something in remote sensing and everything. I think it would be nice if you talk to her, and she's been in the Netherlands for something like that. Right? And then for Mbali to have a meeting with me, it's about, okay, what would I gain? Let me go meet Cindy. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I need help with something. But your question for you to help me, it's about what is in it for me? If there's nothing for you, then you go away. You don't waste time. You don't waste time that
so
I will
you've learned that, you've grasped that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sorry, the reason I'm also doing this, it reminded me when I started my PhD and I wanted to do a talk in a different Dutch university because of a link I had when I arrived, a link from home.
Yeah.
And then she said to me, what is in it for you?
Yeah. What is in it for you?
And I was like, it means I would have presented somewhere else. I would have improved my skills. But also around that time, I was still busy with my proposal. So I ended up not attending to that.
And also, one of the things that my Dutch supervisor stressed, because, you get lost in your topic or things like that, trying to find yourself.
Yeah.
He was always like, Cindy, think of your next career after the PhD. Think beyond the PhD. Don't think about now. Because right now you're going to say, I'm going to do this methodology or I'm going to do it like this. But in the near future, how is this? Because this PhD is your next level.
I hear you.
So what do you want to be?
What do you want to achieve here?
Propel
you to the next stage.
Yeah. What are your aspirations, your goals and aspirations? What do you want to be tomorrow? What do you see this PhD taking you? Where do you see it taking you? And sometimes it's easy for us to say, oh, well, I'm here. I'm just doing my PhD and
we'll
everything.
See when we are done, what's next?
It's not about that. It's
okay.
Everything you prepare.
Yes.
And remember, the Dutch are always ready.
Hey, they're well organized, those people.
Yeah, they're like, write down.
You're so well organized. I've never seen organized people like Dutch people, guys. Jeez.
I
Please sondela friend.
Sondela kun.
Yes. Konje school manje.
Appreciating little things in life.
Particularly during your PhD journey.
Yes, small improvements.
Yeah.
You need to appreciate them. So
give us examples.
So for example, you need to celebrate. Maybe you did today. You read 3 pages. Not 3 pages. It's
no, I'm laughing because I understand how challenging it is sometimes to do literature review, especially when you are still seeking direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So for you to read at least one paper and finish it and understood it, and then being able to write that question, which okay, maybe in my PhD, this is how I'm going to use this. My friend, celebrate that moment, because there's never going to be a bigger day or way you're going to submit your thesis, and understand that it's a journey.
Yeah,
it's a journey. And funny enough, for you and I, we've got a month where we now have to say, what did I do in 2022?
Yeah.
And nothing comes to mind.
How do you celebrate?
Okay, so you can celebrate. First of all, don't ask about celebration, my friend.
I buy ice cream. There's this nice ice cream I like from what do you call this brand? There's this brand.
John Berry's?
No, not Ben Jerry's.
Which one?
Is it Ben Jerry's or John Berry's?
John and Jerry something.
Ben and Jerry.
Yeah, something.
Not that one. Häagen-Dazs. I normally buy that. Like normally, if I really feel accomplished and all of that, by the end of the week, I normally celebrated that ice cream.
I want to go to
a little bit of shopping. If I have money, I'll go get myself a perfume.
Lezo angizishaye ke lezo mina ngikho angisi mina ngi-village girl.
How do you celebrate?
Watch movies.
But don't you do that even though you're not celebrating? Like let's say it's a Friday, you really had a hectic week. That's how you unwind.
No, that's why sometimes for me ukuthi ngihlala empedeni ngithatha laptop ngithi mhlanje ngibukela movie. It's a celebration. Bese ngibeka iwine la ecaleni.
Okay.
A bottle of
Maybe
wine.
Also because I'm not a movie person. So you are saying during the week you are not a movie person.
No, during the week. Nokuthi ukudlalana. But music obviously ngiyawulalela.
Yes.
But then nokuthi ukudlalani, sometimes I was nokuthi kuyenzakalani.
Because sometimes for me to fall asleep I have to have something running and then I fall asleep because my mind is away from my project. So how do you fall asleep? Do you but anyways, she doesn't struggle with sleep.
No, depression is creeper in easy. Asibona ukuthi depression until the later stage. Velulala when
you don't struggle with sleep. I do, particularly if I'm really stressed and I feel like I can't work. But I'm so happy that I'm out of that phase. I'm in a phase where I really am in control of what's happening currently in my... But I realize that now I'm more motivated to do my work because I am aware what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hence my field work helped me with that.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're not being effective. It's not because you're not disciplined enough. It's also because there's this frustration you have of not knowing what you need to do. And I think that's where I was.
I think
because now it's easy. Like literally, I can wake up in the morning and really start working.
I think for me, the most difficult part was not knowing what my supervisors thought of me.
I did let go of that.
I
had to let go of that. I know. I had to let go. Not even my supervisors. I had to let go of whoever in my department, whoever in my field thinks of me, because I realize how crippling that can be. The
issue mentally. With me, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not a perfectionist, but I criticize. So if you're gonna come and say I'm good, but I don't think I'm doing good enough, then it's a question. You see. So for me, that was I struggled with that a lot. But I've
got still struggle with it even now?
No. Okay. But it's because of you. You see, you said it. Mm. Once you have a plan, you think you have a plan, and you're working towards that plan, and that plan seems to be accepted by the external people that are watching you, then you're okay.
The direction, you know what to do, which
you are
stones,
fine.
which milestones you need to actually
And the more communication you have, because I realized the thing is, back home we've got everybody celebrating with us. We've got friends, we've got family that are within our reach. We've got all of them. I remember I had a friend. Mike was always there. You know, I would call Mike, I'm in the office, I'm stuck. Mike will say, Cindy, do this and this and this, it's fine. And now you think about it like, Mike kune point. Mara la, uzofanele ubani?
Babe, I struggled so much. But you know who came to my rescue? Donald. Donald came to my rescue in ways I'd never imagined. Even if he doesn't have time, he'll send a voice note. He will, he is really, really, he has really made me feel like
I think that's what makes the PhD, you realize
having
that
support system.
Having a support
and not support system, family and friends, support system, technical people who will say, this is wrong, this is right. Even if you take it to your supervisors, at least you have an understanding of what you have done. You have an understanding of how you did it, even if it's wrong, but you know what you did, right?
You know what made me relax?
Hey, because guys, it really becomes so dark, and you're like, what the hell is going on? You know, it's nice to get stuck in getting the results. But when you're getting stuck in figuring out what results am I getting, how are they supposed to look like? What's the purpose of these results? Why am I doing this?
But the things that, for example, isn't this data for granted? I feel that if you are in your field or in your comfortable zone or in your I could say in your ground per se, comfortable space, right?
True.
You think you can be an astronaut. You can be untouchable.
Can we talk about how our confidence was crippled when we came here? When we thought we were the most confident people alive.
Stop, you think you've made it in life?
What's the biggest lesson so far?
I think then I was like really down that day, and I was like, today ngifuna ukwazi kahle lo muntu lo ulokathi ngenza right, but mina mangizibheka angihambi mile.
I think I frustrate my supervisor when it comes to that, because now that I'm figuring things out, every time I share stuff with her, I feel like it's not good enough, and then sometimes she has to say, babes, we don't have time, please wrap this thing up. And for me, it's like, no, it's not right, we need to fix, we need to,
Also, I think you've got an intrinsic power and you've got intrinsic capability. You know that what you're capable of.
Yes.
And you can see what you're delivering now.
And the two are not matching.
And manje ne umaki register ku supervise umaki register. And that's it's good.
Babes, we need to do a part 2 because this is nice.